Developing your own photography style is one of the ultimate goals we photographers have. And I'm sorry to say that finding your style is a never-ending process, as it's just one of those things that continues to develop over time. But getting started in the right direction is the tricky part. So in today's video, we're going to be going over 3 key tips to fast-track your journey on finding and improving your photography style. So let's jump right into it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, very good afternoon. Welcome aboard. Chris is the next listening sequence for your voyage out to beautiful Latitude Beach today.
Explore the photography genres. Shooting and editing a lot of photos is an obvious way to improve your photography. It's similar to consuming a lot of other photographers' work and making a plan to follow in their footsteps. But if you limit yourself to inspiration from one or a small group of photographers, you're going to get lost along the way. As majority of successful photographers found their photography style from exploring multiple different genres of photography. I made this mistake of limiting myself to one genre of photography, that being portraits. Now, majority of my work to this day is portrait photography, but from experimenting with other genres of photography that, truth be told, I wasn't really interested in at the time, like landscapes and street photography, but I did discover unique techniques from my experience outside of my genre that only improved my portrait images. I also found this sub-genre that I'm really enjoying called lifestyle photography. This genre of photography is great as it has a massive overlap of the different genres of photography. There is no strict rules or code of ethics like found in street photography, and it is a fun way of photographing daily living in an artistic manner. And I used to think that the best photos are from intense planning. Well, I've discovered that my best work has been captured completely by chance through the process of experimentation. So finding this genre of photography has motivated me to go out and shoot more. I've been experimenting with a lot of different compositions and lighting conditions, and I'm now in a place where I feel taking images I'm happy with just seems to come to me very easy. And I now actually enjoy lifestyle photography as much as I do with portraits, which is interesting as I had no desire to try a different genre in the first place. So don't limit yourself to one genre or style of photography that you would like to pursue. Push yourself in different conditions and environments and continue to discover new inspiration. In short, don't put yourself in a box, think outside of the box, enjoy the process, and continue to make images that interest you. Photography style is a 50-50 combination of your shooting style and your editing process. So if you want that moody look, you need to shoot in that environment and enhance that look in Lightroom. For me, as an example, I enjoy bright and colorful images, so I shoot in those conditions and I enhance this colorful and airy filmic look in Lightroom. In general, for me to have a good starting point for editing, I'm not really fussed about the time of day that I shoot, but I do shoot at about a 270-degree angle to the sun, with my best images coming from side-lit images or a high cloud in the late morning or early afternoon. When the conditions are overcast, dull, and flat, I like to represent that with my black and white edits. I also go out and challenge myself with shooting outside of these conditions like night photography to continue to search and develop my shooting and editing style. If you have a small amount of money to spend, I highly encourage you to buy and use Lightroom presets from photographers that you like their style to emulate that look. You do have to shoot in a similar way. A Lightroom preset isn't going to fix a bad image or display a similar look without the lighting, composition, and subject aligning with that style that you want to replicate. I do sell Lightroom presets that are based on film colors and contrast. They are linked at the top of the description if you want to test them out for yourself, but I fast track my editing by buying and experimenting with other photographers' Lightroom presets. I learned what I liked and disliked about the presets, and I then developed my own Lightroom presets that aligns with my style that I want to represent. I'm continuously saving new tweaked presets as my editing style develops, and I encourage you to do the same. Buy some presets and continue to tweak and save the presets to achieve the color and the contrast that you desire. If you want to see how I edit the contrast and colors in my images, check out this video that's linked right here. Or is it linked here? It's in one of these corners, I swear. Gear is talked a lot here on YouTube, and we're at a point with oversaturation of new gear promising the next best thing. Having the fastest and the sharpest lens on the top tier camera will not result in better images. Sometimes it doesn't even result in better image quality, and I'm sorry to say that color science or dynamic range isn't a huge difference. But the user experience of the photography equipment is super important. And that's why I enjoy using Fujifilm for my creative work, because the film simulations are similar to my Lightroom presets, and I get a boost of inspiration seeing what the final image will look like through the live view display. Focal lengths are an important one. I did a video recently on how limiting myself to the 40mm for a while dramatically changed and improved my photography style. Zoom lenses are great, but primes are the way to learn how a different field of view impacts an image to create visual interest. And you can actually describe a photography style from the focal length that they use. So some styles are more of a wider field of view, like 28 or 35mm, while other styles are more tighter field of view, like an 85mm. Testing out the popular focal lengths and finding which one you enjoy the most is a great way to improve your photography style, improve your composition, and train your photography eye to seek interesting scenes. I'm currently enjoying using a 28, 40, and 85mm for my work to get a wide, a mid, and a tight shot. So testing out different gear is a great exercise. It's also a very fun process of buying and selling different gear to experiment with different focal lengths and mediums. So to conclude, the goal is not to be the jack of all trades, master of none, but you do need to experiment with different genres of photography and consume other photographers' work to find new inspiration, take notes on what you enjoy, and really lean into that. Shoot and edit a lot. Keep tweaking your style on how you compose, light a scene, and how you tweak the colors and contrast when editing. Make and develop some Lightroom presets to keep a consistent style. Test out a bunch of different gear and different shooting mediums. Experiment with different focal lengths, or even use some vintage lenses for a change. And finally, the most important tip is to have fun with the process. Don't plan too much and be open to new opportunities by avoiding putting yourself in a box. Oh, and a bonus tip is to cull and curate your images before you even import them into Lightroom. Don't edit multiple versions of the same scene. Find the best composition, in focus, and best exposed image. And I use a completely free software called Narrative Select. I rate my images and I then import them directly into Lightroom, saving me time to focus on my best images. There is a link in the description down below, so click that and download Narrative Select completely for free. Test out my Lightroom presets, and we'll see you next week. I'll be in Bali, Indonesia, so we'll see you there. Bye for now.